Corey, it's trade deadline season. It's like everybody's favorite time of year to talk about the NBA and talk about the deals that may or may not get done. And at the top of the list right now, one of the biggest names probably on the move, LaMarcus Aldridge from your San Antonio Spurs. I mean, where do you think he lands? How do you think this plays out?
I'm so happy we finally get to talk about San Antonio. It's been weeks. I've been waiting and chomping at the bit. I think, I think they're going to do the buyout. We know that LaMarcus has been productive offensively, 13, almost 14 points a game, but his contract is pretty hefty. We're looking at a $24 million price tag for a 35, 34-year-old player. So I don't necessarily think a trade option is available. So heading into this deadline, I'm thinking, okay, what role can LaMarcus take on a team? And I think once again, you get someone, you buy out the contract, and then you sit on a contender and come off the bench or have valuable minutes. As a rotation player, give them that 10 points a game and try to go win a championship, and you're going to get paid regardless. Just sign a veteran minimum. That's kind of where I'm thinking. What are you thinking, Kurt?
Yeah, pretty much that. I mean, look, at this point, LaMarcus Aldridge, for as great a career as he had, he's kind of a backup five, right? Like he stretches the floor, but he's not mobile on defense. He can help in a role, kind of like Blake Griffin out of when he went to Brooklyn. There's a role for him on some championship teams. I'm going to look, Brooklyn won't be interested, but Miami needs.
They don't want to add another person on that star-studded roster?
Probably not. Miami could use help. The Lakers are interested. There's a whole bunch of teams. The Bucks could use help along the front line, but I'll throw out one that I think is interesting. Remember when he signed in San Antonio, who he almost signed with, who he used as leverage? Phoenix Suns. That would be an interesting landing spot. They could use help at the five. He'd get to go to a place he likes. It's just something to think about. If you're going to play for the minimum, he gets a little more run there. Now, are they going to win a title? No. Like if you're chasing a ring, then you're going to the Lakers or the Bucks or somebody. But if you wanted more minutes, and whatever LaMarcus wants, if he wants more minutes, well, he probably gets those and gets some more touches with everybody and Chris Paul and everyone down in Phoenix. So it's just one
Kurt,
thing to watch.
Do you think it would be more like Portland with Carmelo Anthony?
Yeah.
Or do you think it would be, or do you think he would take DeAndre Ayton's spot?
Oh, no. It'd be much more like Carmelo Anthony. I think he's got to come off the bench, especially about Ayton's been so good defensively. You can't short circuit your growth just to, hey, we're having a great year. Let's short circuit all of that and go. No, you've still got to think long term with this team with Booker and Ayton and Bridges and a young core. You can advance it a little quicker. I just think, it's the Carmelo Anthony, and you can hope he's as productive as Carmelo has been up in Portland. Bring him in, knock down some shots. There's a lot of teams, though, that could use the four. If he wants to get a ring, man, Milwaukee, Lakers, there's going to be a lineup of teams if he's willing to do that.
And I think what we've seen with Carmelo Anthony as well is, first of all, Carmelo Anthony can still score at will whenever he wants to, right? He can go for 12 and a quarter. Whatever he wants to. And I think LaMarcus is like that at times too, where, he can turn it on whenever. And I think when he's coming off the bench in a similar position as Carmelo Anthony, it'll allow him to kind of reestablish his value, because we're looking at, a lot of older players are still playing at a high level, but there are times when you need to just like basically say, hey, no one wants to trade for me. I got to buy out. This is a time where I almost have to reprove myself to the league that I am worth 18 million, 24 million, 12 million, whatever that number is. So I think this would be a great opportunity if he gets to a place where he can be like a Carmelo Anthony type of player for them. Then he'll be able to show teams, hey, look, I'm still just as valuable, and I'm going to prove it to you. Pay me my money.
I just hope he can be that productive. A lot of times with these buyout guys, it's just you're looking for somebody who can come in and give you some minutes during the season, and then in the playoffs, can you help us in certain matchups? Are there specific matchups? If you've got a team that, like, if you're playing Utah and you're the Lakers, like LaMarcus Aldridge suddenly becomes helpful because he's not only a big body, you can pull Rudy Gobert out of the paint. There's certain matchups where you might be able to really use him in the postseason.